were on the road on the south side of the Stillwell field. You were holding the lamp to make sure it didn't break. Dad was driving the horses. Love, Don. The second one. About 1949, we visited Aunt Opal and Uncle Arthur with our 3 children at that time. The children remember climbing the steps to the upstairs where we slept. I remember especially the efficiency in which you handled having a group visit you. We had a meal wrapped in foil and cooked on the grill at Lake Itasca. We fished at Lake Hattie and caught over 100 crappies and dressed them that night. It is a very pleasant memory, and this day will be remembered long. You are so good at keeping the family in touch, Aunt Opal. Many more happy birthdays. Love, Madge. This one says, Mom, I enjoyed so much visiting in Minnesota with you. I remember her bring back quarts of blueberries she had helped can. This is from Mary Worley Peterson. This one says, I remember Dad driving for 3 days straight to get to the farm the earliest minute he could. Brian and I were always excited to see Rascal and Lady and all the kittens, as well as explore the flower garden and vegetable patch. I remember, Grandma, how you baked the best food we'd ever had in that old wood stove, and how all your children and grandchildren would gather around the table in the kitchen. Grandpa would give us rides on Lady, and we'd march around the hayloft and slide down the hay, whooping with delight. I remember the goodie boxes you sent to Phoenix every Christmas, and all the birthday cards and letters that you so faithfully answered. I'm glad you turned 90 and gave us all an excuse to have a reunion. Happy birthday, Grandma. Love, Christy. You want to read some?
I remember that every Christmas she always gave us money to buy our own things. Jessie Harsha. I remember when I was about 5 years old and we went to her apartment and ate dinner. Jake. I remember visiting the farm and Aunt Opal cooking on the wood stove. Also my dad helping Uncle Leonard cut a tree in the front yard, and all the ticks that followed. And were eventually thrown in the stove. This is from Miriam Vignano, Holden.
Let's have Christy.
Changed the words just a little bit so they fit this occasion, Grandma.
feeding ducks, going for walks, playing with little trucks, remembering how we each would be rewarded with candy after helping with the dishes. Sleeping on your floor, having your refrigerator be my comforting lullaby. Now, as I am snapped back into reality, I'm aware of how you have been such a big part of my first 19 years of life. No longer will I play with your trucks, but will always come wanting to feed the ducks. Oh, how I have been blessed in my life. I want to express my gratefulness to you for showing me love, happiness, and grace. Tell me about your boyfriends, she'd always ask, sincerely curious as to who was touching my life. Throwing my head back with laughter, I tell her about them, either with a pen or face-to-face, sharing my life with her. Thank you, Almighty God, I whispered aloud, smiling for letting the most remarkable woman I know touch my unworthy life and help and bless me so one day I can be more like her in my own life. Now as I stare blankly in front of me, my only wish is to be able to hug you and to be able to tell you how all these things aren't lost, but to memory. But rather, how you will always be with me, very close to my heart because of your love. I love you, Grandma. Jill.
Here's the next one, compiled today. We were at the farm visiting my husband Joe and my children Joseph. This tells who it is right away, doesn't it? Joseph, Miriam, and Dick, Joe's friend, and Paul. Uncle Leonard took the big boys fishing. So Aunt Opal and I were visiting, and we decided to go and look at the fields in their car. We started out and something went wrong with the car. The foot feed came apart. So I took up the floorboard and put it back together again, and Aunt Opal was so surprised and happy that it was fixed. We thought we'd have to leave it in the middle of the field. Another time we sort of dropped in on them, the whole family. We brought ground beef and buns for hamburgers, but Aunt Opal went to the freezer and brought out her homemade rolls, and we fixed the hamburgers, and the kids thought they were in hamburger heaven with the homemade delicious buns. Jessie Boniano. Yeah, that's who it is. The next one of my most unforgettable memories of the farm was how Grandma made it into a home. She was so much a part of the house that if she even had to be gone, the house seemed completely empty and deserted. Coming into the house with the smell of cooking and baking and Grandma's love waiting was one of the most wonderful things a kid could ever have. That's from Jim. I remember that no matter how busy Grandma had been during the day, cooking, cleaning, washing, gardening, helping hay or picking berries, she always had the time to read me a story. Or if I was sick, she'd always sit up all night with me. Or when I had to walk that long driveway to meet the bus, she'd always stand and watch to make sure that I got on it okay. The other thing that sticks in my memory is that going or living in Grandma's house always meant being surrounded by love. Thank God you're my grandmother. Love, Deb.
To grandmother, who's 90, have a fine day. To Opal Robinson, there are many who call you Grandma, others who call you Mom. To some you are called Auntie. Like maybe me and Norm. We call ourselves happy to know you. You've always been good to us. We've enjoyed this day of togetherness. May your future be great, a great big plus. From us, Frank and Norma Lubeck. Lubbock. I remember all the great meals that Grandma cooked. I always thought she should open a restaurant.
Undecided. Anybody own up to that? Mary?
You better sign up for it.
I remember the times I slept in the old house on the farm, sleeping in the baby crib in the attic at age 5. Also, I remember the times I would build tree houses in the pasture on the farm, and you would tell me how Don would build his when he was little. Thanks for the memories, Grandma. Gary Robinson.
Okay, let's have Cheryl.